Welcome to Rip It Up, the Renovations podcast. In between full episodes, we are answering your questions. So if you have a burning question for us, send us a voice note or a message on Instagram at ripitup_podcast_official or email us ripitupearlybird@gmail.com. Welcome back to the podcast. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Jen.
Listener question this week. We'll get straight into it. So the question was, we'll play it, but the question was all about the best sofa fabric for your house. We have the same sofa.
We do have the same sofa and the same fabric, actually. Different colours, but the same fabric. Yeah. And if I'm totally honest, I think I picked my fabric without even knowing if it was going to be easy to keep or not. I just wanted that colour and I really liked it. Like, I wasn't thoughtful because I didn't have children when I ordered it. I did have a dog, but she was very clean, kind of like, you know, non-shed dog.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think I gave it due consideration that like I would nowadays. But I was pleasantly surprised at how easy our fabric is to maintain.
Yeah, so we have,
would you agree?
What would you call it, microfibre?
It's like a poly velvet, I guess. Is it? It's not a classic cotton velvet, which would be much more absorbent.
Fibre kind of, poly velvet.
And because it's a poly velvet or a poly, is it a polyester, or would that be the base fabric, or kind of a nylon maybe or something? That means it's non-absorbent, or it doesn't absorb water at all. So kind of, I don't know if you find like water tends to kind of pool on the top, at least for a little short time. That kind of gives you a chance, and gives you a chance to kind of mop it up.
Yeah. Everything has been spilled on my couch. I've had dog pee on it, and not my dog, interestingly. I've spilled wine on it. The other day I found we were eating burgers on the couch and I found like a handprint on the side of it.
A handprint of what?
Burger sauce.
Lovely.
Yeah. But it wipes right off. It's the easiest thing on the planet to keep clean. It wipes right off. So what I normally do, if it like, I'll just give it a wipe down with like a microfiber cloth. If like just a wet microfiber cloth, if it needs a clean. If I'm giving it a deeper clean, Dr. Beckmanns fabric cleaner.
On the go all the time, yeah.
There is nothing better. It's the best thing on the planet. That'll give it a wash. And then if it needs a deeper wash, I will unzip the coverings and I will lash them into the washing machine on a cold, gentle wash with like Woolite or something gentle like that. And
same. And I usually zip them closed inside out.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just to make sure it doesn't get any kind of damage on the outside, so it's super gentle on the covers. That's worked really well for me. I guess going back a little bit, ours is a polyester based velvet or kind of a suede-ette. I don't know, like you kind of call it different things maybe. But looking at fabrics overall, I think generally polyester or some sort of like poly blend fabric is a little bit more forgiving in the case of kind of the listener here where you might have kids and you might have pets or whatever. I think it'll generally be a bit more waterproof. Now you can use natural fabrics like your linen and your cotton and your, you know, those kind of fabrics. Now remember, they're more absorbent. So as soon as a stain hits them, it'll absorb that stain and it's harder to get out. So I would be generally a little bit more cautious picking those fabrics unless they're loose covers that you're going to be able to easily throw in the wash. I have a cheapy sofa in our kids' kind of play area at the moment, and it's one of those loose cover ones, but it does stain and it's harder to spot clean than the polyester kind of based fabric. So that would be kind of a watch out there. And then the other option I suppose is leather, and with leather you've kind of like semi-aniline, which is kind of a protected leather, we'll say. It's kind of usually got some sort of colouring and coating on the top. That one, you know, typically will have a waterproofness to it and be easy to wipe and shouldn't absorb smells as much. But then you have your kind of raw hides and your kind of untreated leathers, which are beautiful and they'll age gorgeous and blah, blah, blah.
I love that. But they get really soft. I think people hear leather and they think the pleather prophylactic armchairs that they had in college, you know, or something.
Yeah.
But real leather gets so soft and it's so lovely.
Yeah, but it's not for kids, like untreated leather. In my opinion, like I just think you will get stains. It's not about like, I think it like weathering, because I think the weathering actually looks lovely, but it's the stains, it's the spot stains of juice spills that might go a slightly different color, or a dog peeing on it, or a cat peeing on it, or something like that.
Yeah.
So those kind of things, the aging generally is nice, but it's more the wet patches, and they will soak into untreated leather very quickly, the same as they will for like a cotton or a linen or something like that. So generally, I think natural fibres that are untreated or uncoated or unscotch guarded even will kind of absorb a lot more liquids and hence stains.
And you can have issues with moths as well for any natural fibres that are...
Yeah.
They just go around the back of your couch and like just eat away at the little corners, little feckers.
We got a wool carpet actually in our bedroom, and it was only because we have a humidifier in my bedroom, and just in the winter months when it's really hot or really kind of dry air, and it spilled the other day, or Jess pulled it over, and I noticed on the carpet it kind of beaded the water, even though it's a wool carpet, because it's treated for moths. So some fabrics now can be spray treated.
Yeah. Rugs, like curtains, everything can be spray treated to moths. And if you are, I understand why people would want to go for a natural fibre, because they look beautiful and they do last a long time, but definitely get them treated for moths, especially in Ireland. Like I don't know, they gather. One thing I will say about any sofa fabric that you're getting, and this is any material, is that if you are putting it in direct sunlight, it is going to bleach eventually. And I think that's really no matter what. I think it's like, even if it is UV treated, and that goes for curtains, that goes for almost anything. Probably not leather, like probably not something that has the colour, inherent in it. But if it has been dyed, then if it's sitting in like strong direct sunlight, it is going to bleach over time. I don't think I've ever seen a sofa of any fabric that hasn't eventually bleached, if it's a coloured fabric. So that just is what it is, and I think it's something to bear in mind. Like mine is starting to bleach, and it doesn't look bad yet, and like this is 5.5 years later, so if I need to get something recovered eventually, grand. And that's because it's sitting like right up against a very large, like sliding doors, southwest facing, and gets a lot of sun and a lot of light beating in. But it's something to bear in mind. So think about like whatever fabric you're choosing, whatever you're going for, think about where your sofa is going to sit and whether it's going to get a lot of direct sunlight, and that, and think about whether that might mean you want to go for a lighter colour that won't bleach so much, or you're okay with it,
Or a fleck or a pattern as well, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes some of these poly velvets have like a slight texture, or kind of almost like a false wear pattern in it or something, which kind of is a little easier to keep in terms of staining if you've kind of kids or whatever. That might be an option as well. So don't be afraid of like a little bit of a pattern or fleck or something like that in the fabric. But I think I think generally speaking, with kids, and especially with cats who might claw fabric, or dogs with longer claws and stuff, very textured fabrics are not really your friend. Stains get embedded, food gets embedded in them, and they can just pull. The fabrics can pull, like your jewellery might get stuck in them, stuff like that. So I think very textured fabrics are generally for rooms that are adult only or not used very often, in my mind.
Yeah. So I do have a textured fabric in my my sofa bed, which is in my office, which doesn't get heavy use and doesn't... Now, I will say my dog jumps on it sometimes, but like he doesn't claw, and he doesn't have long claws anyway. So it definitely does not get heavy use. But this is it's a textured herringbone fabric.
Okay,
so
but it's not very deep pile, essentially, like, is it?
It's not a deep pile,
No,
but it definitely is textured. What it's actually made of, I'm not 100% sure. If I find out, I'll put it into the show notes. But it is textured. But what I will say is that anything with a texture, anything with a pattern, is so forgiving when it comes to any kind of stain. And that's true of anything. Like that's true of your sofa, that's true of your tiles, that's true of your rug, your carpet, anything. If it has a little pattern to it, it'll be easier. It'll hide stains a little bit better.
That's true,
because you won't see that little watermark or that little mark or tear, even whatever it is, like as easy. It'll blend in.
The toy box we had in my kids' playroom, I recovered a couple of years ago in this kind of polyester bouclé fabric, so very textured, like that, like fine for stains, never noticed, even though it was their toy box and they were opening it all the time, and there was probably loads of stains in it, but you couldn't necessarily see it. But the fabric did pull a bit, just from wear and tear and toys being pulling.
And was it hard to actually clean? Like if it, okay, I know it looked fine, but like if you actually wanted to clean it, was it easy to clean?
It depends on the type of stain, I guess. I think a lot of stuff I let kind of dry and use a soft dry brush, gentle kind of dry brush, almost like a shoe cleaning brush, but obviously a clean separate one that you use for fabrics, but just like dry brush off the majority of the stain I can. I try avoid wetting the stain too much unless I really have to get it off. And then if the stain is like embedded, you need to get like something absorbent on both sides of the stain, so inside the cover and outside the cover, and almost squeeze that stain out, you know, because if you're blotting it from one side, you're just kind of probably pushing it deeper. It needs to be absorbed out from the other side. So that's what I find when the stains get deep, you can kind of get it out that way. So I suppose they're all kind of considerations if you've kids and dogs and cats or whatever that are going to be on them, or if you have a smoker in your house, essentially, like Jesus, then I think thick fabrics or heavy fabrics or untreated fabrics will definitely harbour smells a lot more.
Yeah.
But that's my kind of 2 cents. I actually love our poly velvet. It's so durable. There's been baby spew, like you said, pet pee, everything, and like it all comes off really well. I actually have it in a secondary
as well. I have it on my bench seating in my dining area, the exact same, different colour, but the exact same fabric, and like obviously that gets a bit more stains in the dining area, but it cleans up so easily. So that's our recommendation. Thanks for your question.
Hope that helps.
We'll see you next week.